Hello, Henriette.
Hello, David. Hello,
Hey,
everybody.
how was your week? Wait, I will start this.
Yeah, some ups and downs for the character, but moving strong in the presence.
Nice. And you,
Yeah,
Doris? How
really
was your week?
great.
Um, Not so good. Yeah, feeling heavy.
Hmm.
Yeah.
I don't know what to do with about it. Mm. Why is that funny?
Because part of the heaviness is this intention of resolving it is part of the heaviness.
Well,
Yeah,
it's unpleasant. So the natural inclination is to want it to go away.
yeah. But that's. I laugh because it's. I'm not laughing at you. I'm laughing at the mechanism that I'm also feeling, because that's built in our experience, that our mind, um, by its wrong interpretation, there is a projection of a manifestation that is experiencing. And then the same mind start to judge what it likes and what it doesn't like. And then it wants only what it likes and doesn't want what it doesn't like. So when it doesn't have what it likes, it starts to suffer. But it's even more funny because even when it gets what it wants, it is in the fear of losing it. So
Yeah.
so in reality, the whole pattern is suffering. The whole thing, the whole manifest, whatever you are stick with, whatever appear when you identify with it or you hold it in any way, that's suffering. There is no delay between the suffering, between your attachment and suffering. There's no delay there. The delay is not that I attach and take time for me to suffer. It's I'm in reality I'm attracted to suffering in a real way. I'm attracted to I'm hypnotized by experience. And then I start to suffer exactly at this moment. But I don't realize it until later. So really, in fact, the whole process is not about healing anything, is to reduce the time between your attachment and the pain and the suffering you feel when you do it. Because the more they get close together, the more you realize the insanity of this. So healing is not really changing anything. Healing is putting my attachment and my suffering together in the sense that they are one. But I see they seem to be different. So healing is clarity, is a seeing, is a clear seeing that in fact when I attach I suffer. And when I don't suffer it's because I'm not attached. So it's not that I attach and therefore I suffer. It's like suffering is attachment. They are one and the same. But our mind has the capacity with its illusory, its master of illusion, right? And deception. So it 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 seems as if there are two things. So it's funny. It's not funny to live it, but it's funny to perceive our own madness, that there is no one imposing us anything, and still we are struggling with our own power, the own capacity, with our own radiance. We seem to be in struggle with our own, very powerful energy that we are. So I hope you don't take it personally, Lawrence.
No, I was just curious.
Yeah. And laughing helps a lot. But in my experience, people around me, very near of, but often they are used to it now. But I'm laughing a lot. I'm laughing to my own misery. I'm laughing to my own accident and loss and pain and emotion and everything, because what else do I have, you know? And it's funny because it seemed very important and then it goes away.
Mine doesn't go away though. It just stays for year after year. It's just heavy. It's pretty consistent, and I wouldn't mind if it would come and go, but it doesn't go. It just stays.
Yeah. There is, again, you really have to see that time is thought. Until you perceive this clearly, that you really realize that time is thought, you will always struggle with time. That it's, I'm suffering for a long time. It's there for a long time. When you add this, it add a length of suffering that is not needed. Okay, it's painful now. That's okay. What can I do now to, to heal, to take care of my body, of my mind, of my surrounding, of my environment? That's fine. That's just natural. But there is no need of, oh, I'm suffering for 5, 10, 20 years. This thought doesn't help you in any way, shape, or form.
But what if it's true?
How do you know it is true?
I feel it
You feel it. Where?
in my body.
Okay, but that's a sensation, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so this sensation has, let's say, 10 years. This sensation that you are feeling right now have 10 years. How do you know?
Or maybe 5.
5. Okay, 5.
How do I know?
Yeah.
I feel it.
Yeah, but the sensation is appearing right now.
Yeah.
So is there a part in your body that you feel that the sensation is fresh and new?
Um, I don't notice that.
Okay. If now with your hand you touch, let's say, is there a table near of you?
Yes.
Okay, with your hand you touch the table, and you can do it too, Henriette, just for fun. You touch the table in front of you, right? You touch the table, and that's a new sensation, right?
Yes.
Okay, now you lift up your hand and you don't touch the sensation anymore, the table, so the sensation disappeared. Interesting. So now we touch the table again, and as we touch it, be very sensitive to this. There is my hand, there is my hand, there is my hand, there is my hand, there's my. At some point there will be, oh, there is something new appearing, right? There's nothing. Ah. So now, is this sensation new and fresh? Or is the sensation of the table 5 years old?
Well, I felt it the first time I put my hand on the table. But yeah, so it's relatively new.
Yeah, but you see, you keep putting condition on a fact. That's very interesting. So again, lift up your hand and for Ray and Nicole, hello. We are doing a concrete exploration. If you are willing, you can jump in. We are exploring, how do I know that a sensation is fresh and new? It's right here, right now. Or if a sensation has 5 years old. Sometimes people suffer or have emotion of struggling. And we use this, oh, I'm suffering for 5 years. This is for 5 years. So we are trying to clarify if a sensation is here and now, fresh, or if a sensation can have a week, can have a year old, can be 5 years old, how long a sensation can be here without moving, like it'd be exactly the same. So we are exploring with that table. When you put your hand, you feel your hand and you go down and you go and you touch the table or an object that is around you. It doesn't matter the object. And you go down, there's a movement. At some point, oh, a table appear, right? A sensation appear. Interesting. So now, Doris, when you touch the table, is this exact sensation new or old?
Well, it's new because because it's happening now.
Yeah, exactly. So the sensation that we call the table, when I touch, when I have this sensation, is new, is appearing exactly now, right?
Yeah.
So now, if you go to this sense of heaviness that you feel, that you are telling us that you feel for you felt for 5 years, what is the difference between one and the other? Between this fresh sensation of the table, that is a sensation, and the sensation of heaviness that is appearing here and now also.
Well, the fresh sensation doesn't cause me suffering, but that heaviness does.
So now you are talking about suffering. I'm asking about time, and you talk about suffering. You see the difference? You, your mind is avoiding the question in a way, which is fine. So I'm just telling you right now. The difference is the suffering, okay? But if we don't take the suffering into account and we look at time, is this sense of heaviness 5 years old, or is fresh and new here and now?
Well, if I just stay in the moment, then it's fresh and new here now.
Okay. Well, you cannot move from now. So, of course, it's here and now. So here and now, it's fresh, it's new.
Right, right.
So what part in you is imposing a sense of time and a story on this sensation?
My mind.
The mind. That's what I'm telling you. Yeah, tell me.
And memory.
Yeah. So the mind is time. The mind is memory. But the sensation is here and now. The sensation itself do not have 5 years in itself. It has the exact experiencing as it is appearing in the moment. And when you approach a sensation that way, you free yourself for 5 years of pain, and you take just the pain that is here and now. And only this can often alleviate a lot of the suffering already, a huge part often. But you have to be sensitive to perceive how the thought is making interpretation on what is now constantly. And its interpretation are always in time. That's how you recognize it. If it's in the past, that's a memory. If it's in the future, it's a projection. But both are thoughts. Both are memory. Even our projection of the future are memory, because to think about the future, you need a past to build the future on in your thoughts. So when I look back in the past, or I look forward in the future, I'm always in the past. I'm always in time in my mind. Can you feel it? Can you sense it?
If I'm always in the present, if I'm in the present, there's still pain. I mean, they're still suffering.
Yeah, no, I get that, but
Yeah,
I'm trying to clarify a little bit things
yeah.
for you.
Mm-hmm.
That's all.
Mm-hmm.
Because if I feel pain now in my body, it can be very challenging. There can be a challenge, to endure some pain or some challenge in life. But it's very, very different to feel pain and to face that fact and to explore it and to do your best um, to be with it. And it's a complete other approach to say, "Oh, poor me, I'm in pain for so long. What I'm going to do is this. My life, my body, my this, my." That's very different. It's a very different texture. And a huge part of the suffering is this story, is in the mind. So we are going to do a small exploration, a small inquiry. So you can sit comfortably. You can close your eyes. And notice experience as it is right here, right now. Or more clearly, notice that you can only be aware of experience right here, right now. There is no other place than here that you can experience this manifestation. And there is no other place in time that now where you can experience this manifestation is here. So there is no effort to be in the now, as there is no any effort to be in the here. Here and now are simply what we are, where things are happening here and now constantly. So what is this that is here? What is its nature? We often overlook our assumption, we overlook our beliefs, and we kind of accept our thoughts and what our mind is presenting us. We accept the interpretation of the mind as a fact, as a reality, as an absolute, without questioning it, without doubting the assumption, doubting the beliefs, doubting every thought that arises. So this is not about changing anything. It's not about becoming anything new. It's not about controlling anything. What is here and now? And to be very honest with ourselves as how, how is this experience appearing to me here and now? What is this? So imagine you are like a newborn baby. Imagine you have something that impede you that you have no memory. You cannot go into memory because you don't have it. You have no past. There is no way you can have access to something in the past, or your brain, or memory, or whatever it is that the mind can offer. You have nothing. All you have is this that is here, this exact moment, this exact experience. So, am I able to be with my experience without the past? And often, it's not like thoughts are not appearing, but to notice that when a thought appears, to question it, not a deny, we don't reject it, just what is this experience, this thinking that is appearing, that I'm aware of? What is this thought presenting to me? An image, a story, a timeline, a name, a relationship, an object? What is this thought presenting here and now? If you are sensitive, maybe there is no thought. If there is no thought, just stay there. Enjoy this tranquility, this emptiness, this light. And if there is thought appearing, that's not a failure. That's simply thoughts are appearing. So we don't search to be empty of thought, and we don't search we don't search for thoughts either. We are here. We are witnessing what is here, what is experience. And if there is thoughts, they are appearing, and we notice them. Obviously, we cannot blind ourselves to thought. When a thought appears, you are aware of it. So this small inquiry, we will try to find where is thought taking its information. Where is the source of the information of thoughts? When thoughts emerge with a story about a person in the past, about me in the past, about my name, about this is an online meeting, I am sitting on a couch, on a chair, I'm doing this exploration, this is my name, this is their name, and I'm doing this, and this is my hand, this is my body, this is a sensation, this is thoughts. This is the conceptual realm. Maybe there is ideas about what's going on, what should happen, about future, about past. Thoughts are appearing. So the inquiry is every time there is a thought appearing, we try to slow down. We don't try to slow down the thought, but we try to really pay attention to this field of thinking that is emerging. And we ask ourselves, where is this thought taking all of those informations? Maybe if I want this to be very clear, so I will use an example. And I will use my name. I will say my name, but you can, in your own inquiry, you can use your own name in your mind. You can, right? So I will say David. When the thought emerged that I am David, David is here, David is speaking, David, right? My name emerged as the thought, right? It had different forms, like I am David, this is David, David is speaking, David is moving, David this, David that. But if I take David, the word emerged, the name David, the sound David emerge. And you can think your name or you can say your name out loud and you can. And immediately there is another thought that says, this is me. So that's interesting. Where is this thought taking the information that this name is my name and this name is me? Where does thought take this information? It's very interesting because often this inquiry, you have to be sensitive because each time you ask the question, the thought will give you an answer. But then you have to ask the same question again, because if the name emerged David, right? I ask, where do you take this information that this is me, David? Well, because this is what you are. But how do I know that this is now? Because that's what your father names and your father and your parents give you this name. But that's another thought. Your parents give you this name is another thought. So it's not really an answer. It's another thought. That's not a viable source, because thoughts are made up, they're changing constantly, so it's not really solid, it's not really fiable. So I have to ask again, okay, but where does this memory come from? That my parents who give me this name? Where is this thought come from? Where is this story come from? That's one example, but every mind have very specific thoughts on very specific topics. I use my name because often it's quite neutral, but often the mind have a specific his preference of drama, right? So every time there's a thought that emerges, ask, where do you get this information? From where this information come from? And if your mind is giving you another thought, that you have to ask again. Yeah, okay, but that's another thought. It's an idea. Where does idea come from? And you keep asking, you keep looking, you keep in this inquiry. Okay, thought is proposing me ideas, beliefs, stories. Maybe they are true, or maybe not. But if they are true, where is this truth come from? What is the foundation for that truth? hope that you can see that we can ask questions, but thoughts have only the ability to produce other thoughts. There is no knowledge that can step out of the thought. So thoughts, I hope you could see that thought have no answer. Thought does not know where its knowledge come from, doesn't know where itself come from, doesn't know where thoughts come, doesn't know anything outside its own made up conceptual world that it manifests. What is interesting is instead of getting lost in thoughts, trying to find answer where there is only confusion, we take the direct path, the most intimate, the shortest inquiry possible. I have no idea about all of those stories that thoughts are presenting me. I don't know nothing about time outside what thought is presenting me. I know nothing about space or self or me or others or a world out there, objects outside thoughts. What I am aware is there is the activity of thinking. I am aware of the activity of thinking. I'm very clear that I'm aware of that. What thoughts are about, I have no idea. They seem to have answers, but as we saw, they are not really answers. They are simply a coherent thought map that doesn't go outside thought. So it's not. There's no ground in thought. So I'm aware of the field of thinking effortlessly. And notice that being aware of the field of thinking is like being aware of the sensation of your foot, your feet. It's effortless and there's no question about it. It's simply, I feel my feet right now. Okay, my feet is there. I'm feeling my feet, that's it. But that's the same quality with thought. The field of thinking, I'm aware of the field of thinking. There's nothing, I have nothing to ask, I have nothing to change, I have nothing to comment, I have nothing to judge. Thought is thinking, there is this activity there, just like there is sensing with my foot, I feel my foot. I have no question with the sensation of my foot. I'm feeling my foot. It's comfortable, it's uncomfortable, there is texture, there is a whole universe in this sensation, but there's no question. There's no judgment, it's simply a foot appearing. Try to have the same quality of approach, of engagement with thought, with this field of thinking. Thinking is moving, presenting story, time, drama, space, objects, stories, me, self, whatever. But I have nothing to comment. I'm aware of the field of thinking. And notice that every judgment about a thought, like the thought that is maybe telling you, I should not have this thought. My thoughts should be different. I should be awakened. I should do this. I should be that. The experience of judging the thought is a thought itself. So when you notice this, you start to be free from judgment. Judgments still appear, but who cares? Because the judgment itself is part of the field of thinking. It's a thought judging another thought. And so what? It's like if you feel a toe in your foot, you feel a toe touching another toe. It's just two parts of the foot touching together. They are together, yeah. They are moving to, okay. So what? There's no comment. There is a different texture of it. It's exactly the same with thinking. When there is a thought of judgment, it have a specific texture, a specific quality to it. And so what? That's the field of thinking. I'm aware of it, and I'm free of it. That's the freedom. I'm free from my thoughts. I'm aware of thinking. I'm aware of this field because I'm awareness. That's my nature. Everything that appears, it's appearing here. But I'm fully engaged with the field of thinking, but I'm not lost in their hypnotic nature. I'm free from thoughts, even if they are present. That's freedom. And this space, that this awareness that is aware of experiencing, aware of thinking, this awareness is your own presence, your own being, that is pure and innocent and absolutely free. Is free from all the drama of time because it lives in eternity. It's untouched by time, that's why it is innocent. And because it is untouched by time, because it is untouched by thoughts, it is eternal. Because thought, which is time, is appearing in me. It's an appearance. I don't have to do anything to be free from time because I'm not bound by time. So your being, what you are, is inherently free. Inherently innocent. Because there is no story. The story is a thought. So I'm innocent from all the drama I'm trying to impose on myself. I'm free from it. So this is the place where we start our exploration, being. And from there, there is many ways you can play with your experience. There's many ways you can enjoy, to engage, to explore yourself in different ways. You can explore who am I, you can explore control, you can explore thoughts, you can explore the body, you can explore boundaries, you can explore the light, you can explore the sound, you can explore everything you want. Relationships, object, travel, everything. But the essence is to find the nature of what you are. Is this presence that is free from experiencing. But free from experiencing do not mean that experience disappear. I'm free from experience, and therefore I'm free to enjoy experience. And that's the joy, that's the love, that's the pleasure that come from a complete different place. So I hope you could felt it, you could feel it. And gently we are, I will say, coming back, but that will be a blasphemy to this place, to what we are. But it's our speaking. We are going to switch and we are going to enjoy ourselves in a different way. Instead of being closed and kind of disengaged in a way of speaking from others, we are open our eyes and looking at the room and we are engaging again. But in fact, it's simply the same experience that is emerging again in a different way. I'm still free. So this awareness, if you felt it, or if you could clearly see it, that's your nature. And nothing that happened changed that. Doesn't matter how intense or how expanded experience seemed to be, or how contracted it seemed to be. That is painful or pleasure or no thoughts or many thoughts. That's really irrelevant for what we are. But the miracle, it's when you find what you are, then you can engage with experience in a more meaningful way. And that's the joy, the pleasure, the expression of grace. But grace is not something that you seek or that you attain. It's something that you realize, that you say, oh yeah, I am that grace, I am that. So then you can engage with the experience in a completely different way. So I hope it makes sense for you that you had a taste of it, and if you have question or if you want to share anything about this or any other topic, I'm happy to pretend to know the answer and to give it to you. Yeah,
I think
Doris?
it's something, it takes practice and it takes remembering to practice. Otherwise, they're slipping into old habits.
Yeah. But you know, what we are, it's really this deep sleep state is what we really are. So often sleeping, it's a very good sign. First, if you sleep because you are tired, well, just sleep. Maybe it's better than trying to do something. Just rest and enjoy. But then, at the beginning, I was sleeping a lot. In fact, I was doing everything laying down, and I was sleeping constantly for years. So I think first for me because I had a physical exhaustion and a mental exhaustion. But at some point, I started to felt that you feel that you go to sleep and it seems that you disappear and in the morning you reappear. But at some point I start to feel that I'm not sleeping. Not always, but now more and more I feel that I wasn't sleeping. It's just that there was nothing there. and it's like things get just cut. I have this example. I was in the bus with my partner, and I was just sitting in the bus, and I like exploring. I like to be with my with my sensations. I was just feeling the vibration of the bus, and the equilibrium with the inner ear, and just feeling the vibration. And I was just doing this, nothing more. And then my partner just shake me. We have to go down. We have to go down. It about 20 minutes that we were in the bus doing. And for me, it was, I don't know, there was no time. It was simply this exploration. And when experience appear again, they was stressed. Apparently, I was in stress. So I drove the bus and things happen. But you see, it's always retrospectively that the mind is manufacturing a character that was in this situation. But in the situation itself, there is no character because there is no delay between now and someone or something to register the present moment. So that's why thought is always an afterthought. Because the sense of individuality and personality, it's a memory in the sense that the memory, it's an afterthought. The memory comes after the event. But if you want to be even more precise, the memory itself is appearing here and now. That's why there's no need to negate anything. The memory is now, but the content it's an illusion. So yeah, sleep it's very good. I did this also. It's very interesting. Try to be aware of your thoughts, of your last thought when you go to sleep. Try to be aware of your last thought, the last one, the last thought that you can remember. And remember the first one. When you woke up in the morning, what is the first thought that emerged? And with me, it's very interesting because I can be highly aware and my body is going to sleep and my mind is disappearing, but I'm highly aware of it. So who is sleeping? If I'm perceiving my body disappearing and I'm perceiving my thought kind of fading away, who is going to sleep? What is that is going to sleep? What is the nature of that being? But often we are so identified with thought that we feel or we believe, and then we feel that when thought disappear, I am disappearing into whatever. But you're not disappearing anywhere. You're always here. So what I'm trying to express with my own direct experience is everything that is appearing can be a way of exploration. So sleeping is not a failure. Sleeping is how you experience is unfolding. That's why I try to emphasize more sensitivity, tenderness, clarity than techniques. Because every body, every mind is very specific. Its environment is very unique. The food you eat, the people you are around, the air you are breathing, the space, everything is different. Your age, all of it. So it's very difficult. It's impossible to really give a recipe, But it's possible to say, look, be sensitive, be aware, be here. And if you look statue of the Buddha, he's not doing a lot of sports, he's half sleeping most of the time. In Thailand, I was in Thailand, and then there is this statue of the Buddha, he's laying down. That's one of the biggest statues of Buddha. He's laying down like this, and he's kind of sleeping. So, sleeping maybe is becoming enlightened, who knows?
Yeah, talking about sleeping. I don't know if it's my turn. Every time we have a Zoom, David,
Yeah.
the character here is constantly yawning and so tired and overwhelmed. But last time we spoke, yeah, it can be a sign of resistance. And on the other hand, there's a little dog next to me, and he is more in peace than ever, sleeping deeper than ever next to me. So for me, it's like well, that's a thought. There's awareness of a thought arising that it's the safety and that that I can stay in, not going away in the story, and just be present and just just be here,
Yeah.
which is really great. uh, all the time I'm yawning. So that's the one thing. And in the story this week, very big things were happening. It seems that there's always extremely shocking things happening here. Like this week, a suicide of a daughter of a good friend of ours. And somehow the drama here always has to be extra, extra large. And
Can you? I will ask you to pause.
yeah,
Because I need a pause, okay?
yeah,
Because I heard that one of your daughter best friend suicided
yeah,
herself,
yeah,
and my mind just stopped there. It couldn't
yeah,
follow what you were
yeah,
saying.
yeah.
So I just need a pause here from me. Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
So it sort of seems that this character is always into mega drama things happening. Um, yeah. So yeah, it's difficult not to get caught in thoughts or get carried away and have these judgments about so many things.
Yeah.
So there even was stillness here, like calm, and almost like, feeling, it's not the right word, but feeling sorry for so many characters who truly believe they are the body, and so sad, including my husband. So this is it. It seems like there is so much force just trying to get me into the character and the personal story, no matter what I try. Well, that's stupid because I'm just nobody here to try. But
No, I'm hearing
yeah, there is so much a force trying to keep me in the dream or something like that. Yeah.
you. Yeah. About being tired. We live in a very dysfunctional societies. So our environment, the environment where the body is expressing itself, and the environment that the body is making interpretation of, this one is the same, right? Just different way of speaking, is dysfunctional. So the mind is imposing sadly, is imposing on the body a level of stress and a level of confusion that the body cannot hold. So often when we start to question the mind, the body often is finally allowed to express itself and to take care of itself in the way that is which the environment is allowing it, So first there is a mechanical movement there that is natural, being tired. Just to be clear, that has nothing to do with doing right, doing wrong, resistance. And I understand this perspective of resistance, but the body is not resisting anything, The body, if the body is tired, and you lay down, he will sleep, right? But there is a part in the mind that is preventing the body to function correctly. The body doesn't want sugar. I mean, it have this craving, yeah. But if you are really sensitive, you will see that the body doesn't want really sugar. Something else that wants sugar. So the mind is constantly using the body for its desire, for its craving, trying to control and manipulate everything. And the body cannot fulfill madness, and endless desire. So it's always in this stress, in this performing way of life that our society, Western societies, are giving us. On the top of the fear of death, of the fear of this, of the lack of emotional care, and on top of all of this, right? I'm just giving some example. So when we start to let go of the mind, the body is trying to regulate itself. And that's why often I'm hearing, and that was my case, but there's also other testimony that the people seem to go crazy, right? People sleep constantly, or they start to eat full sugar, or full salt, or only sex, or stop sex, or this, or sport, or whatever. Because the body is kind of going on both sides of the spectrum, trying to rebalance itself, right? So it's just going pretty crazy at the beginning. But in fact, it's simply the body trying to find balance within, without the mind trying to impose its stories on it. So that's good. And often animals like dogs and cats and horses and dolphins also are very good for this. They help regulate. They are support. They are an external support for something. So that's great. If you have a dog and he rests, look at your dog. What's wrong? If your dog is fine, there's no danger. So basically, you can sleep. So why are you not sleeping? Because your mind is. You need sugar, you need work, you need money, you need save, you need this, you need this, you need relationship, you need talk, you need parents, you need family. You don't need anything. Look at your dog, and if he's sleeping, well, you could sleep. So if you don't sleep, it's not because and you are tired, it's not because the body, it's because, this, like you say, it's this force, it's this energy that is seemingly, right, the kind of, it's not really, thought does not have the capacity to absorb yourself or to control you. But we are addicted to it. We are addicted to our own scent, to our own manifestation. And thought it's a very, very powerful addiction. And our environment and our modern times are highly supportive of that. So, that's the situation. That's not a complaint. That's simply it's a fact of what's going on, right? So, but that's why it's important to always remember that what you are is free from this, even though it is appearing. And that's often is confusing because it is there, But I hope over time you will be able to find more and more this place within you. This place of, yeah, my mind is very agitated, but I am not. Right? And remember, it's like having a tension in the neck, right? I have a tension in the neck. It's different if I say, I am tense, I am tense, I am tense, it's getting worse. If I say, I have a tension in the neck, that's not comfortable, but okay. It's like, well, maybe I will do something, I mean, we'll see, right? But there is not this grip on the story. This grip, that's you. That's not thoughts. That's your own. You are perceiving how much energy you are. I like that, but the way you feel it is you feel absorbed by it, right? Yeah. Yeah, beautiful. And I have nothing clever to say about suicide. I think it's a
Yeah, but it's what I project, what is projected out, right? It's like the symbol of what's within or something. It almost feels like there are thoughts saying, okay, there's so much garbage inside that you are projecting this out, but it's not the personal fault or something that these things happen. It's just happening.
Yeah, but that's a way of
Right.
saying it. The way I would,
Because many non-duality teachers say, "Oh, everything is great, what's happening, and all is good." But this is that's frustrating here. That there are so many mega drama things happening, and the only like if it's not like true, it's just happening. Yeah, then it's okay. But yeah, this is the sort of
yeah,
mind
this
struggle.
this dichotomy. I think we have to be careful not to spiritualize our pain. Trying to say, yeah, because everything is all right, I can negate that I feel sadness, I can negate that there is war, I can negate that my friend I saw, I can negate. Some people take this path. Maybe they are at some level of light that they are just on another dimension. That's possible. I don't know. But speaking for me, that's not appropriate, and for me, it hasn't worked. So I think the only path I'm perceiving is how do I feel about that, and that's really the clue of what is going on within me, right? If there's an event outside, how do I'm feeling it? Because I can watch the news, terrible news, and be at peace with it. I'm just watching, crazy people, the crazy mind that we all have, just being crazy. But that just seemed to be human experience, just insanity and violence. But within, do I feel this violence? And if I'm honest, often I say, yeah, of course, because I feel the whole human spectrum is within every human. So we are all capable of the worst and the best, right? And what some teacher, they say, yeah, there is only the best and there is nothing else. That's true, but we have to understand which level we are expressing and which level we are talking about. So I think because we have this human spectrum, we have this possibility. We don't have to, but there is a possibility to resonate with everyone. It's harder to resonate with a fish because our system doesn't really allow it, but you can. It is easier to resonate with a human being. It's even easier to resonate with your neighbor, and even to resonate with your companion or your friend or your family, right? So because we have this human experience within us, we have this quality of despair, and happiness, right? Of pain and pleasure, of attraction and rejection. This is human experience. So that's why I talk about tenderness. And the place of tenderness, it's because you express that there is people around you having very dense emotions, and you feel affected about that. What I would suggest is like their emotion are theirs, their story have nothing to do with about you, right? But nevertheless, if you feel sadness, that's your sadness, and you have to do something about this. So first, to really learn to, the other is not responsible of my emotional state, no matter what it is. Even if someone come to me and shoot me with a gun, the rage that I could feel is not its responsibility. I will feel pain and all of this, but the anger is the anger is built within me with my own interpretation that I should live longer. This body is the best, and he's the bad guy, and blah 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 blah. That's my story. It has nothing to do with the other. The other, maybe it's happy, it's unhappy. I don't know. See, no. So really, to see that that's an actual fact, right? So to perceive this, to have this sensibility to differentiate between what the other is telling me and his story and my story. And the best, one of the best way you can really feel this is with babies, right? When a baby cry, if you are activated by its emotion, it's only your story. It has nothing to do with the baby, because there is no story with a baby. So it's very easier to perceive this, right? But with adults, we add layer of thoughts. Yeah, because he did this to me last year, and he did that, and he's my husband or my partner. He should give me sex. He should give me money. He should give me security. He should marry me. I should do this. So all of these stories on the top of it, but has nothing. That's your story. Maybe the other is sharing your story. Maybe they are very similar. Nevertheless, that's your story. And if you want to be free of your story, you can. And if the other doesn't want to be free of its story, that's his issue, has nothing to do with you. So with babies, it's very easy to perceive this with child. Babies, because at 3, 4, it's had to change, because at 3, 4, there is this sense of self that's had to be imprinted in their mind. But at the beginning, it's very easy to see. And the last thing I want to say, when someone is suffering, the last thing they need is your suffering. When a baby cries, the last thing that is the less useful for a baby is if you start crying with him. Right? No, when someone is suffering, you have to be happy. You have to be the light for people if you can. If you can't, if you are yourself, you are having emotion, you have to be honest and say, okay, I'm having this emotion, and it's easier to say I'm sad because people are around me than to say I'm sad and really it's difficult to be with this and I don't know what to do. It's very different. So what I'm presenting to you is this process of disengaging yourself from your environment. I'm not sad because I'm not in fear because the world is dangerous. So you disengage with your environment, which is an interpretation of your mind, and you disengage yourself from the relationship. You don't isolate yourself, but you perceive that a lot of your emotions in your relationships come from the stories that you are telling yourself about how the other should be, about how I should be, about how the relation should be, and all of this mess. Yeah, and then this is is complex, but is easy. What is very hard is facing the actual emotion that you feel. That's the challenge. That's another kind of challenge, right? Because this challenge is you can be supported, but at some point you have to face this sadness that you feel. Right? But with support, with tenderness, with all of this. And remember, and at this point, that's where there is no self. It could be useful, or you can use it as a support or as a recognition. I'm not in depression. I'm not a sad person. I'm having a very intense emotion. And it's difficult to be with it. Something is okay. But even the difficulty is part of the experience, right? Even the resistance is part of the emotion, right? So and you go back to that place that we explored in the beginning. Can I be with this emotion the same way I can be with thought, right? With this, I'm witnessing this sadness, and the body may cry and do things, and you're, oh wow, okay, okay. Does it make sense?
Yes, thank you. Yeah. Yeah, it's another cultural or habit thing that we suppress so much of the feelings. And I'm always surprised how quickly a story comes out. This is what I have been watching last week, that
Yeah.
quickly story comes out. Yeah.
Yeah, but
So,
but that's a habit, and that's, as you said,
yeah.
that's cultural. In the West, it's really strong. In other culture,
Yeah.
maybe not, but and there's a social agreement often.
Yeah.
I don't know if you saw it, but if I'm suffering and I call you, in a way, I'm going to do a caricature. Okay, I'm just for the purpose of explaining something. I'm sad, I call you, and your role is to distract me from my sadness. So we're gonna talk, we're gonna go to movie, we're gonna go to bar, we're gonna do this, we're gonna do that. Your role is to distract me as much as possible from my sadness until I go home and I watch a movie, I take drugs or do whatever to avoid my
Yeah.
emotion. That's your role,
Yeah.
right? And then
Exactly.
I need a partner in my life because I cannot call Henriette every week or every day to be with her and to be distracted. So now I need a partner in my life that will distract me constantly. That will
Yeah.
be her role, with sex, with food, with sorting, with party, with talk, with drama, whatever.
Yeah.
I need someone that is responsible so I can blame for my unhappiness. And that's often the role of friends and and partners. I mean, I'm making a caricature, right? But that's often the deal. And
Yeah.
when you step out of this deal, there can be struggle in relationships. But the real question is, as you are perceiving, do you want to be happy? And often you won't, and that's the process. To step out of those deals that doesn't help anyone. Really.
Yeah, so it feels like baby steps to just notice the fact that the thoughts are so quickly, but it's like a huge step not to be already on the train going, south or north, whatever.
Yeah.
Just where we started today. They say, "Hey, there is a thought. This is a thought." But it's exactly what you say. You can suppress it, or you can talk with friends, or you can find distraction, anything, but not to feel it.
Mm-hmm.
And that's a strong habit too. Yeah, but thank you. It's really helpful.
Yeah. But
Yeah.
we are all babies here.
Yeah.
No, really, we are in the spiritual ladder. If there is a ladder, we are all babies. We're all really completely
Yeah.
crazy, and so that's where we are. So baby step is what we got. So that's
Yeah.
why we have to be very tender. So each time your mind goes racing, you notice,
Oh, yeah.
because
There we.
that's difficult for you. I see.
Yeah.
Okay, that's difficult. Well, I will try my best to, as the mind is rushing, as I am with my friend drinking and going to a bar, whenever I can, I will start to, to feel a little bit this. I will start to feel part of my body. I will start to feel this emotion. I will, and slowly it will simply appear, because tenderness is what you say. I'm watching my mind going crazy,
Yeah,
but don't judge it. That's really the
exactly.
core
Yeah,
of it.
and I'm actually starting to do that and actually feeling, which is
Yeah,
new, but it's really great. Yeah.
yeah, exactly. And you will see, you at some point you can let the mind go crazy. And so it happened to me sometimes. I'm more like I don't have many friends, and I mean physically, right? So I'm very more an inner person, let's say. But I love to be with people, to speak or to be quiet. But often when I speak with people, I have no idea what we're talking about. Oh, no, no, no. Oh, we are talking about the weather, the war, politics. I have no idea. It's why not? Why not talking about this? Why not talking about that? I don't know. But just watch it. Just watch it. And it's really impressive. We don't realize the power of being aware. Because the mind cannot register the effect, so we feel there's nothing going on. But in fact, when you are in awareness, when you watch your experience from your being, you are in a place of non-judgment. So to do, when you don't judge, you are in a place of forgiveness. So in fact, in that's why in Hindu tradition there's no forgiveness. You just be the light, be in awareness, because, and in the West, because we have the guilt and the whole Christian stories are a bit different, but the core is the same. The witness is the healing. What you are is perfect. You are perfect, right? So the more you feel this perfection, the more there is this non-judgment on experience, on others, on self, on the world, on the event, on everything, naturally, without effort. Because as soon as there is an effort, the effort is a sense of identity straight away, immediately. That's why I, I use the word tenderness with this kind of intention, this effortless place.
Yeah, great. Thank you.
Yeah.
I had a question. Oh, sorry,
Yeah,
go
yeah,
ahead.
2 seconds, Ray, because this come to me. Before I had a child, I was very, very different. Since I had my son, I'm way more soft and understanding for many reasons. But what I want to express here is, now when people come to me with things, with emotion or suffering or whatever, I have this image of a baby, right? Or a child. The child doesn't really know what's going on. He feels something difficult, and he's trying to be with it in the best way possible. And that's exactly what all human beings are doing, from the politics to you, whatever. It's simply we are having an emotion, and the mind doesn't know how to deal with it and just do crazy stuff. And then how can we step out of this is when I step out of it, I get judged for the thoughts and my behavior, and no one see my struggle. That's all human beings are having. So that's why this image can be supportive. When you are with people who have heavy energy and all of this, it can be supportive to perceive that way, like to in a way even negate completely the story, and be with the emotion itself. And if you can't be with if you can't be with this energy, to be honest with yourself, that's too much for me. I cannot be with all of those people sad. I can't, because it just bring me down, and I'm not Jesus or Buddha or whatever people who pretend they could support whatever pain was on earth. Maybe I'm not in that place, and I have to be honest with myself also. So maybe I love you, but that's too much for me, and that's also respectable. you know. Yeah, Ray, You have, you have.
Oh no, yeah, that was actually a very good segue. Because something you had said earlier was, when somebody else is being sad, like you kind of, it's your responsibility to bring joy or happiness. And that brought to mind a situation that I have with my son, who I think, might be a little bit older than yours, but very close. My son turned 4 just a little while ago, and there are times now where he is very frustrated. He's very angry, and he'll, express himself some way. And because he's very cute, and sometimes I can't help it, but I'll laugh, because he- I could give you examples, but he's upset, and then I laugh, and he gets very angry about this. He says, "It's not funny. Like, it's not funny. Like, don't laugh at me." And I guess I understand what he's feeling. Like, he feels like he's not being taken seriously. And when he's feeling upset and angry, he wants the world to acknowledge that and to feel the same way, I guess. And for me to laugh at him is, it's very upsetting to him. And I understand that. But so I was just wondering if you could sort of expound on what you were saying earlier and, and kind of put that into context.
Well, at 4 and 5 is where the sense of self start to emerge very strongly. Because at 4 and 5 is where there is enough memory, there is enough gathering of information to kind of structure a sense of identity, a deeper sense of identity, and to build a me, an individual living inside a body. So often, this ego, it's it's inevitable. It's a function of the body, of the brain specifically, of the nervous system, which is all the bodies, not only the brain, but anyway. But it's a function of the body to create this for the body's survival, apparently. And I don't know, I think this thing need to be seen constantly. It need to be seen. And in human, it's not like adults. I think child, you really need to see him, to take care of him, to do your best to recognize him, so he can build a healthy body, which the sense of self is part of the body. Otherwise, it's just part of it. But it's a process of maturation. But because later, if you in your maturation, you have to question the sense of self, and then you free yourself from it, and that's where you that's one of the beauty of expression of human experience is your body born, and there is a sense of self, and you free yourself from it, and there's other things happening, and that's kind of the story, right?
Yeah.
So now, for your specific case, if I'm laughing a lot, and it is true that sometimes it's difficult not to laugh. It happened to me. But I think from one part, there is a very innocent aspect that sometimes it's a loving aspect, like, oh, I know that seemed terrible that you lost your toy, or you feel this is very the end of the universe, but something in you is laughing like, it's okay, I love you, it's okay. You will be okay, I will be, everything is okay. And it comes from this laugh, right? And this is the laugh that I was talking about before. Even if you feel that your life is terrible, when you laugh, you are like, this big energy that say, yeah, like you watch your own experience, like you're watching a baby cry, a child crying for a toy. Like, I know from your perspective it feels terrible, but money is not that terrible, And if you lose everything, you didn't really lose. If you lose all your possession and your objects, you didn't lose really anything. So that's just funny. You will see, So this is the same nature of the laugh, that I would say. The other aspect is the aspect that in our society, children are very, from what I'm perceiving and from my belief and from my perceptions, they are we have the society where the children are born is very insensitive. It's very egoistic in the sense that there's a lot of difficulty for parents, but for society in general, for every individual, to understand that what the other being is experiencing as important is important. Doesn't matter what it seems for you. For a child who lost his toy, it is the end of the universe. It is really that. It is like, you know, it's like if you lose your job, all your money, and tomorrow you are going to live on the street and you cry, and your child comes to you and is laughing at you. Oh, why are you crying? Everything is fine, right? So from your perspective, it's the end of the universe, but from his, it's not. It's exactly the same on the other side, right? But we are, some of us, and a different proportion, we are so hypnotized by our interpretation of reality that we believe that our interpretation is reality, is a fact. And therefore, what I consider is important is really important, and what I consider is not important is not important. So if my child, is having an emotion for a situation and I perceive is not important, I can laugh. Just like if my neighbor is crying because he doesn't have a Ferrari, I allow myself to laugh at him. But from his experience, is really dramatic. So that's the same mechanic, right? So I allow myself to laugh at people who do not have Ferrari or whatever it is, as I'm superior, their misery is not important. And I do the same with my child. So in fact, can you perceive the mechanism? This is egoist, that in the sense that I'm kind of trapped in my own hallucination, and I'm laughing at the other hallucination, thinking or believing and assuming that mine is better or more accurate.
Yeah, you're kind of describing two different kinds of laughter, right?
Yeah,
There's one that's almost a loving expression of of just joy, and then there's another one that's kind of mean. It's kind of
yeah,
judgmental.
yeah. That's so.
Yeah.
Yeah, but that's because everything here has here there's no meaning. So the meaning is always projected. So
Mm.
the question is always, what is the feature? What is filtering this meaning when it's projected? No, there is an example, like, for example, I don't watch more, not so much, but from from time to time in the past, I watch videos of, this compilation of people falling, or from chairs, from cars. And it's so funny, but there is something funny about it, right? And I remember sometimes at the moment, one of my partner or family can trip and fall down, right? And you laugh because you know that it can happen to you. It is just, it can be funny without any judgment, anything, just because it's funny, right? Or there is the other one that you laugh because it's judgment, that you are better than the other, and all of this mess. Like, nothing is really personal. And I think what is really important is not really behavior, but where you are as this behavior is unfolding.
Yeah. I I guess my question is also, though, I mean, from what you're describing, when my son gets angry and says, it's not funny, like he gets upset, I think it's because he's perceiving that, I'm laughing at him in the second way you described, as if I'm saying that his emotions are not important. And well, I don't know. To some extent, my instinct is to try and feel what he's feeling as well, you know? And I think kind of what you were saying was like that's not productive, where, the last thing somebody needs when they're suffering is for you to add your suffering. But in me trying to understand his feelings and his emotion, I don't know. It doesn't feel like I'm adding my suffering to his suffering, but I guess that's kind of the question. I want to make sure that I'm thinking about that clearly.
Oh, I was trying to point toward if my child, or let's my child is having a strong emotion like anger, and I start to be angry because he's angry. Because my story is he shouldn't be angry in the outside in the street or at his moment, right? He shouldn't act that way. He shouldn't do this. He shouldn't. So if my son is having an emotion and I'm having the same emotion, that's not helping anyone. We are both going into anger more and more because this anger will be reflected back and forth constantly with higher degree until something happens. Right? So what is really helpful is to be honest first. If there's an emotion and you have an anger, you have to deal with this anger. But the challenge with parents, which is a gift but is also a huge challenge, is the child doesn't care about your emotion, and he must never care about your emotion until he's the adult. So when you have an emotion, you have to be able to put it on the side as best as you can at this very moment and to attend his emotion no matter what. And if you can, later on, or at the same time, if you are able, you can feel your own emotion at the same time expressing like you are angry, but you're able to control your behavior and your posture. But to really understand that his emotion is not your emotion. That's very, very important in child, because the child doesn't know anything. Like he just arrived here. He's not even a human being. And suddenly there is a me, and he has to understand how to survive here in this place that is extremely violent, extremely confused. And no one knows what's going on. Everyone is lying, and what's going on here. And he needs to survive in a way or another. That's his model, right, of his mind and body. So who can he trust? Mommy and daddy. That's all he have. He have no one else to orient him. So mommy and daddy are the captain, right, of the boat. Now, why do I'm explaining this? If imagine that you and me, we take an airplane, and there is a pilot on the airplane, right? And neither you, neither I know how to fly this plane. We all rely on the pilot, right? If he's not there, we just die there, just crash. There is no way out. Okay, and the pilot is just driving, and suddenly you start to be afraid. Suddenly I start to be afraid. We are on a plane and we start to be afraid, right? Because maybe something going wrong, and we start to grow in fear, anxiety. What is the worst case scenario? That the pilot start to be afraid too. Because you start to tell yourself, if I can make the pilot afraid, that means that he has no idea what's going on. He's just clueless. He's just it's become very messy. So but it's very different if you start to have fear, and the pilot just is very calm because he knows everything. It's okay. I am in control. You are afraid, but that's fine because you are in my in my control zone. You are safe with me. And that's kind of the same energy with a child emotionally. If the child is, that's my perspective, if the child is afraid, you are in peace. If the child is angry, you are in peace. If the child is peaceful, you are in peace. No matter what happened to my child, my objective is to be honest with myself, but I don't, my role is for him to understand that he is free to have his experience, and his experience does not affect me. And this will give him freedom to really have the full experience to express itself completely. Because whatever he do, I'm calm, I'm in control, and I love him no matter what. So I'm not saying that I'm not asking him what's going on. I'm not. Of course, you are empathic in the best way you want, but it's different to understand someone, the need of someone, to understand what he need, what he feel, what is his emotion. It is a very different one to start to feel the emotion of someone else. It's very different. And often when you start to have empathy, right, to resonate with the other, that's where it's to be a little bit messy.
All right. Well,
you are seeing that if the one that is able to trigger an emotion in another is the one in control of the relationship.
yeah. Well, also that means like nobody's really in control of the relationship, right? Because they're not controlling their own emotions either. I understand what you're saying, though.
Yeah, I understand this perspective. You can take this road if you want, but as your question emerge from specifically with the child and all of this, I try to answer what I seem to perceive and my experience on that. Of course, no one is in control, but if you take this road, you are not a parent, and he's not your child. So if you can reach this place, you are free from every burden. Because in fact, from that place, life is responsible from your child, not you. So that's another road that you can take, if that makes sense to you.
Okay. Not all the time. And and yeah, it occurs to me now that this is a very specific case that really probably doesn't apply to anybody else. But thank you very much. I mean, I think that's helpful for me.
Yeah. I start to accept that I'm not a purist. I'm not saying there is no self anywhere and all of this. And for me, there is one does not impede the other. Like I'm fully engaged with my son when I am with him. I'm with him. I'm feeling that there is this intention to be the best father ever. Whatever that means, whatever that express, if I'm able or not, who knows, but that's just what I feel. And I think it's not really to try to not be a father, to try to move. It's about when something is emerging, to allow it to happen. And when I'm not with my son, I try to be, I'm just feeling my experience as it is. And I'm not thinking about how father I was, how good I was. I'm here. And I think this brings a freedom that is very different in quality, because it's this absolute welcoming of what is here. And if what is here is the role of father, well, that's what you are witnessing. And then you are witnessing how to be the best father. You could say, who cares? But for you, no, you care. So that's you. So you are witnessing your own energy, your own experience unfolding in that direction. So there's nothing wrong or right with this, from my perspective.
Yeah. Hmm. I mean, it occurs to me that if I'm, sitting somewhere, also being very self-conscious about what kind of father I am, like that's also an experience that's just happening,
Yeah.
That's an experience that's expressing itself as well. And, there's nothing wrong with that either, I guess.
No, there is nothing wrong with the thought, but you have to be.
Hmm.
I encourage you to do the same inquiry that we did at the beginning of this meeting,
Hmm.
because you don't know what kind of father you are, because the thought is
Yeah.
retrospectively building the story of its own memory, but you have no idea what kind of parent you are. That's why this question never appeared to me, because I have no way
Hmm.
to know. And really, you have no way to know what kind of father you are. So you can,
Yeah.
when this question emerges, where do you go to extract this answer? In the memory. But
Hmm.
does your memory is accurate? Do you remember exactly every second of every moment that you spent with your son, with everything you said, you felt, said, touch, and move, and the way you look at him? Every time? No. You have maybe 10, 20 that you can remember, and everything else is just a guess, a wild guess. So that's the thought that I'm talking about. You don't need the thought. When you are just by yourself, enjoy not being with kids. It's amazing to not be a father. It's amazing to have no child. What's great.
Hmm.
And it's amazing to have a child when it's here.
Hmm. Yeah. I don't think I've reached the point where hmm, where those thoughts don't capture my attention somewhat. But I guess what I'll say is there's less resistance to the situation when they do, which is fine. I'll take it.
Yeah. The mind want to arrive, the sense of self, the sense of being an individual, it's a manufacture of thought. And
Yeah.
because it is a manufacture of thought want to arrive at a conclusion of what you are, of what it is its own, it is constantly trying to understand what kind of personality you are. Are you a good or a bad person? Are you left or right? Are you for this or not for that? Are you nice or not nice? You're constantly trying, because to sustain the sense of self, it needs to build some kind of personality, some kind of sense of me. And this requires a lot of energy in a way. That's why when you ask, where does that come from? Where is this father, this mother, this woman, this man, where it is? And that's the question of who am I, right? And you will see it's not there. There's only a thought pretending that you are this, that you are that, a good father, a bad father, a this, or that. But it's only present as a thought. and you are free from it. That means all of us here, we are free from the character, from the personality, from this individual that thought is manufacturing and presenting to us. Right? And when you start to see it, you will see so many layers will start to fall away, like morality, right? Am I a good father or bad father, right? But that's nothing to do with this. There's no good father or bad father. There is this that is here.
Yeah, I mean, it's just a thought that's occurring, right? It's just an experience
Yeah.
that,
Well, right now, how do you know that you are father?
well, it's thought, it's memory,
Ah,
and yeah,
it's a
and
thought.
it's occurring to someone that's also a thought, I guess.
Yeah.
I don't know if
No,
that
no,
makes
the
sense,
thought
but
is occurring to awareness, to you.
yeah, I mean that's the tricky part for me.
There is not someone having a thought.
Yeah.
And it's not
Hmm.
that you are someone and the father is a characteristic of yourself. No, as you said, because the sense of being a father has exactly the same foundation as I am a man, I am a human being. The foundation is
Mhm.
thought, a concept, an idea.
Well, I guess the thing that is tricky for me right now is like identifying with awareness, like identity in general. Like awareness is like experience includes like awareness is impersonal. No, I don't know. Okay.
Our awareness is impersonal in the sense that there is no person in it.
Mhm.
It is
Right.
highly personal in the sense that there is only awareness. So everything that is appearing is extremely intimate because it's appearing in you, as you, and there's nothing else but you. But it's
Right.
impersonal because there is no individual, specific being, specific self having this experience.
Right. The specific individual, the person is the part of the experience.
Yeah, it's a ride. It's nice, right?
I don't know about that, but it's yeah, it's tricky. It's hmm, okay.
The
Well,
way the way I
just
perceive it now, it's I can turn on the TV, but I don't choose the channel. So there's channel Ray, channel Henriette, channel Nicole, channel Doris, channel David. That's the channel available. So when channel David is on, I cannot turn off this channel. That's the channel that is offered. So there's no choice there anymore. The choice is lost, Like when channel David is on, that's the drama you got. Like this is it. Enjoy it, don't enjoy it, nobody cares. That's it. So the sense of choice is not there. The sense of choice is there is something more interesting behind it or below it or above it or prior to it? What is that? That's interesting. So that's where it gets a little bit confused and paradoxical, because David has nothing to do with me. So it's completely impersonal. At the same time, the experience is highly personal, because it's part of me, it's in me. It's like if you watch a documentary on your TV, there is no documentary, but the experience is in your home. So it's personal. But what is happening on the screen is impersonal, because it's not really happening. But the screen is in your home. So it's personal. I don't know if it is help. I'm not sure it's helpful.
Well, yeah, I don't know. So for me, when I hear you say that metaphor, there's an image of somebody, sitting on the couch with a remote control that says, "Oh, I'm going to turn on the TV and watch Channel David, or I'm going to turn it off and just be me." But
Yeah.
I guess the way that I think about it is like, the me is also an experience. Like the David is clearly an experience, in the television, but the me with the remote control is also an experience.
Yeah, you
Never
can say
mind. I think this
no. You can say this. It just depends
infinity.
how
Yeah. Yeah.
infinity. The reality is when there is absolutely nothing. So you're right. There's nothing recording this. But there is, like you say, it is absolute. But the difference is if I'm watching a screen, right, and you call me and you're telling me, "What do you do, David?" And I'm telling you, I'm watching. I don't know the name. You know, in Mission Impossible, there's a movie with Tom Cruise, and I don't know the name of the character in the movie. Let's name him
Ethan Hunt. Yeah.
Ethan Hunt. You call me, what are you doing? I'm
Yeah.
watching Ethan Hunt. That's true, right? I'm watching Ethan Hunt. That's what I'm doing.
Yeah.
And you say me, yeah, but David, you're not watching Ethan Hunt. That's not possible. Ah, yeah, you're right. I'm watching Tom Cruise. That's right. I'm watching Tom Cruise. I'm saying the truth. That both are truth. But there is one that's a little bit truer, right? Even if both are illusion, because there is no Ethan Hunt and there is no Tom Cruise. So David, you're not with Tom Cruise. You're not watching Tom Cruise. Ah, yeah, you're right. I'm watching Mission Impossible. And you're telling me even deeper. No, David, you are still playing with me. You're not watching Mission Impossible. Ah, you're right. I'm watching a TV screen. Ah, yeah. But you are still playing with me, David, because in fact, you are not watching only the TV screen. You are watching your full field of experience, right? Ah, yeah, right. You're right. I'm watching my full field of experience. No, David, that's not really right, because there's not only the visual field. There's also sensation and taste and hearing. Yeah, you're right, Ray. I am watching the field of experiencing. So which one is true? All of them. So then you can argue. Some paths say that there is one true that's the process of the path, right? You jump from Ethan Hunt to Tom Cruise to Mission Impossible to the screen to the light of the screen. In fact, to the light of the screen to the visual field, to the visual field to the field of experiencing, visual of experiencing to the awareness to infinity. But every level is true. But every level is an illusion. So if you say everything is an illusion, you are right. If you say every level is true, it's right too. In the sense that every level is an expression of the level below. So that's why, again, with Christianity, with God, I'm sorry, but that's why God created the Son, but the Son did not create the God. Because reality is the base So my awareness is the foundation, is the presence upon which radiance emerge, experiencing awareness, right? And this awareness that emerge is what is allowing the sense perception to emerge, hearing and seeing, the visual field. In this visual field and the mix with interpretation, I can have the experience of of being a person in a living room with a TV screen. With this experience, I can have the experience of a movie. In this movie, I can perceive Tom Cruise, and this Tom Cruise I can perceive Ethan Hunt. So it's all there is no hierarchy in illusion. All of it's an illusion. At the same time, and without paradox, with complete harmony, one level, one deeper truth invalidate the one above, right?
Yeah.
And from our
Yeah.
perspective, what will bring you freedom is to say, it doesn't matter. I'm watching Ethan Hunt, I'm watching Tom Cruise, I'm watching TV, I'm watching when you allow this, when you let go of experiencing how experience should be, you enter into something very different and very interesting. It is non-judgmental state. It's the quality of your own being, your own awareness. So it doesn't matter how you look like a person, like an angel, like infinite space, like exploded the universe, like an apple, like whatever. That's experiencing. It's a manifestation. I am always in the background. Excuse me, I interrupted you.
No, you're okay. But I was going to propose that you know you kind of have to understand all of the layers um in order to I guess not suffer for a better you kind of have to understand. You can say that it doesn't matter which layer you're on, but most people would say like, "Oh, I'm watching Ethan Hunt. I'm watching Tom Cruise." That's something that they easily have access to. And yet they suffer if that's all they see because they're like, "Oh, Ethan Hunt is, he's having a problem." And if you identify with that, then you feel the ups and downs, you feel the suffering, all these things.
Yeah.
I don't know. So I don't know that. I guess I'm curious what you would say if I said, I don't think it's totally accurate that it doesn't matter what layer you're experiencing, because I think until you are aware of all of them, it does matter a little bit.
Yeah, well, it is matter to us because we identify or we take it seriously at some degree. And
Yeah.
we suffer, or we are seemingly, and again, seemingly, because nothing is really happening, but seemingly we manifest the effect to the degree that we are attached to its seeming reality. That's why you are right. I never say, I hope that I never did say to someone, it doesn't matter. Who cares about your suffering? Who cares about these people? Who cares about this? Because why I don't do this? Exactly for the reason you say. If someone is perceiving that this is important for him, therefore it is important. So to negate it, it's an insult to this being, because you are saying you are wrong, but no one is wrong. Everyone is free to manifest and to attach and to suffer the way you want. So I'm not judging all of this. What I'm always trying to point is, be clear that your suffering is self-imposed. Remember at the beginning? You are suffering not because Ethan Hunt is suffering. You are suffering because you believe that the problem of Ethan Hunt are your problem. And maybe you can question this. And as you question, you will see that Ethan Hunt can have his problem and you can be in your living room. It's a possibility that is there. Are you able to do it? Am I able to do it? Maybe at some degree, who knows? But that's, to me, that's an absolute fact. All suffering is self-imposed. My suffering, no one imposed to me suffering from outside of my awareness. You know, so we have to understand that there is something within us that is willing to suffer, that is kind of enjoying the pain. And we enjoy the pain because we identify with, with the story and the drama. So I'm pointing to this, but I hope you, and if I did, tell me, please, that I never negate or judge people for what they're attached to, because I feel attachment in my own experience. So who am I to judge? Right?
Yeah, no, I don't think you've said or done anything inappropriate. That's no. I think I was just talking about the when you were saying when it's like it doesn't freedom from suffering is not caring which layer of experience you're in. And I think I was just trying to make the point that you have to be aware of all of the different layers in order for that to be true. Because if you think that there are only, the most superficial layers of experience, then as is or was the case for me not too long ago, like that, it does matter, or it did matter, in a sense,
Yeah.
to the point where I wanted to find some kind of relief by understanding the other layers of experience, I guess. I don't know.
Well,
Yeah.
that's a belief. You don't have to
Yeah.
understand anything, but that's how
Hmm.
your system works, and that's how you want to approach your own situation, your own unfoldment.
Yeah,
But there is different path. There is the path
sure.
of understanding, higher understanding, and there is the path of love, and there's the path of devotion, surrender to a higher power. Path of love is you just open your heart constantly to everything, constantly to everyone. It's a different kind of style.
Mhm.
And there is this higher understanding, but they are all different shape and form of the same unfoldment, to realize what you are, who you are, the quality of your nature. That's an assumption that you are having. The only thing that you maybe pay attention, it is something to have clarity, to understand from direct experience, which I'm trying to do in the inquiry that I'm offering. And it's quite another to justify yourself to the ego. It's different, right? Can you feel the difference?
What do you mean when you say to justify myself to the ego?
Often there is a thought in your mind, right? So, of a voice in your mind. Do you find yourself talking with it? Like,
I'm not sure.
do
I'm
you
not
hear a
sure.
voice describing what is going on? Like, maybe I'm the self, maybe there's no self, maybe there's a reality. But if reality is not there, maybe it is there. It just is not there. Trying to make sense of it.
Mm, sometimes I'm sure it happens. It's not really happening right now.
I'm okay, yeah, but I'm trying to point that
Yeah.
it's something to have a direct experience of realization of something, and to be unable to explain it in any way, even with your own mind, with your own thought, in the words. It's just like that's how it is. That's a clear
Mhm.
understanding. That's a direct recognition, a direct realization. That's very significant and powerful. The other is understanding, being able to talk about it, having good arguments. You can convince part of your mind that is true. but you are playing with words constantly. Because every argument that you have with this thing, you lose already, because you are using its tool, you are in its ground, you are with its weapon, you are in its universe. So there is, again, just like the inquiries we did at the beginning, you are in the dimension of thought. So when you enter it and you want to justify something, you already lost, because everything around you is thought. So do you understand? There is no way out of it.
Yeah.
You will never convince thought that there is no self, because the very nature of the thinking is to manufacture this self. It's its whole purpose.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
that's why I said there is no. It's different to try to negotiate or try to talk or try to reason.
Right.
And that's the higher understanding. It's a direct understanding of something. Like with direct in the sense that there you bypass thought, you know, which is time. That's why it's direct, because there is no time. Directly to the recognition.
Yeah. Mm. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. This is the exact energy. Because I'm pointing this to you because it's not the first time that you ask me, yeah, but you know, this aspect, maybe I'm this, because if I'm this, I'm not that. And I understand, but each time you have a good reference frame, and each time there's doubt, right? Because every reference frame, it's a theory, it's a supposition, it's an interpretation, it's never a fact. But you have access to the fact because you are aware. And this awareness is the fact. But thought will never accept it as a fact. So reason, intellectual reasoning has its utility, but it has its limitation. So at some point you maybe will open to accept what thought is giving you and to recognize its limitation. And you have to drop, you have to left the dimension of thought behind at some point.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it feels like a habit to just pick it up all the time. But I see that, it's all part of the it's just all part of the experience that's happening.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
You know,
Mhm.
I have this image, you know, it's like if I go to a quantum mechanic doctorate class and I sit in the classroom and there's a teacher talking about the quantum physics or whatever and the mathematics of it, and I have no idea what's going on. No idea. But I don't care, because I don't need to know physics, quantum mechanics, and mathematics to know that I am. So I'm okay. And whatever people are around me think I'm stupid, I'm okay too, because I don't care about this topic anyway. And I don't have to justify anything to anyone, right? So that's kind of the attitude I think at some point we all have to reach. Like, I trust my experience, my own recognition here and now. And often it's very powerful, and often it can be mystical and very weird and strange. But if that's my recognition, that's what it is.
Hmm.
I'm saying this also as a position of seemingly teacher, or not a teacher, but like holding the space. I feel it's challenging for me sometimes to not enter into justification, right? Trying to describe, trying to give the best tool, to be right, to have the best. But most I find myself in a difficulty. I'm struggling because I recognize more and more that I have no idea really. I'm just here, and the experience is here. And what else do you want me to say? Really, I don't know. I'm trying to be supportive, and I don't know. I don't even know if it really works or not. So this is it. But this is this quality of shifting understanding from a conceptual understanding to a experiential understanding, which maybe you can't, maybe you can, maybe you can't express it depending on your culture, because there are cultures that are way more spiritual, that even their language is, they have words for a lot of different stages, for subtleties that other culture or the language do not have. So depending on when you are, it can be more or less easy to talk about it, more or less easy to be understood or to share it. But here you are. This is it.
Yeah, that sounds right. Sounds right to me.
There's a great joy and freedom in it. There is really a huge freedom. I hope you can feel it. Okay, well, thank you. Thank you for your presence. I'm enjoying always those meetings, and I also want to add that I really appreciate the energy and the time that you take for this meeting. I like the belief that is highly supportive for humanity, for all of us, to really represent, and to be invested and interested and put our focus on another way of being, another way of existing here that can really produce change. Not a superficial change, but really a profound change in all of us. A profound recognition. And to me, we can do it by being it. That's the only thing that is supportive for everyone. So I really appreciate your presence. Doris, you have a question?
Yeah. Will this be on YouTube pretty soon? This meeting or this talk?
Yes, I will put it on YouTube.
When?
This week.
Okay. Yeah, I want to hear it again.
Oh, okay, great. Well, I'm very happy that it seemed that is supportive. So great. Thank you everyone for your presence. Take care. Bye.
Thanks, everybody. Thanks,
Bye.
David.